digest. From lane to the new shining ground, echo chants where the legends are found. Heroes carved in the heart of time, we march on through grit and grime. Oh Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly high. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire. Oh Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly high. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire. Echoes of King and Greaves in the air. Every goal, the sound declares. Heartbeats pound like a drummer's song, marching forward, fierce and strong. We're the ones who rise in the clash. Numbers running in a white shirt dash. History burns in the roaring crowd. Every game we scream it loud. Tottenham, Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly high. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire. We're the ones who rise in the clash. Numbers running in a white shirt dash. History burns in the roaring crowd. Every game we scream it loud. Oh Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly high. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire.
Hi, good evening and good afternoon and good morning, wherever you are on this wonderful world of a Sunday. It's Tottenham time. Yes, we are going to Anfield and we're going to lose, and I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I'm so excited. I'm so pumped up for it that we're going to Liverpool and they've got flares out. I've just watched the entrance to the Liverpool entrance with Steve, and any optimism I had before the game totally went out the window. We're going to get pumped. And Angel, I'm saying that now quickly. Get it done out the way. Welcome to... These two didn't have no idea I was going to come out with that, by the way.
Well, you know, it's Tottenham in, all that bullshit out.
Yeah, I might as well get it out of the way now because we know it's going to be like later, so we'll get it out now. But welcome to our new show. This is your show before the watch along. This is now going to be like it is for every game of the end of this season to next season as well. We're going to do before the whistle. I'm going to bugger off for 10 minutes to go, get the watch along ready. James and Steve will steer you then, and then hopefully Steve and James will say, get over to the watch along, where me and Steve will give you the best watch along on YouTube. James will come in and out at halftime and full time, and then final score at 7 tonight, where we either be crying, or happy, or sad, or you know, we just decided to get a big bottle of whiskey between the three of us and just get drunk live on air. I mean, that could happen. But I want to welcome the guys in. Big up to you, Steve. How are you? I know you're just as optimistic as I am. Once you saw the lineup, I did see the bottle of whiskey come out of the cupboard. Are you drinking this before the game or after the game? What's your plan?
Well, see, y'all, looks can be deceiving because it wasn't whiskey, it was tequila. Let's get that straight.
Okay,
but you know what? The thing about it is I was a little skeptic. And then, of course, you know, the intro music starts. And then, of course, you get pumped up for it.
Yeah,
but let me tell you, I love, every match day I always try to run in a white shirt dash. It doesn't really matter. That's just how it is. But also that little thing of Mikey Van de Ven scoring the goal from last season, that actually just gets me so fired up, man.
I was there that day. I was at that game, Steve.
Dude, I am absolutely pumped up for for Liverpool.
Yeah.
You and I were watching the pre as the bus was pulling into Anfield, and you saw the Liverpool supporters. And they have red smoke. There's at least 10,000 fans outside welcoming Liverpool to the grounds, and it just makes me yearn for that at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Instead of protesting, instead of fans divided. James, I would love to see the blue and white smoke as Tottenham Hotspur pull into their own ground. Every fan united behind this club instead of it being fractured. That to me looking at that was a seminal moment of how far we actually are away from being such a united football club.
Absolutely. I'm quite excited by the starting 11. That midfield three is a midfield three that I've wanted to see for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. I think it's about time Archie Gray got given a shot in the middle of the park. Look, the defence is the defence. You can clearly tell he's thinking of the Europa League on Thursday, as Philip Brady just comes in and says. But he's obviously got one eye on the Europa League. But that is a good, strong midfield three for me. And those three together, if they can understand each other, absolutely, we could do something special here. But yeah, I do. I'm of the same ilk, Steve. I really, really would love to see flares going, the fans really celebrating a trophy, a quality season. Of course, and every fan wants that.
Yeah,
I mean, look,
sorry, Derma. I was just gonna say this.
Yeah, no, go ahead. Sorry, Steve.
James.
Sorry, man.
That, like you, since the day that it was broke the wire that Archie Gray had coming in from Leeds and they brought in Lucas Bergvall, I've been waiting for these two to play in the midfield all season long. And I thought we may have seen it like in an early cup competition, maybe in an early Europa League. But Ange has resisted playing these two in the midfield together. And now that the season is pretty much done as far as the Premier League is going, he has now just said, you know what, hey, listen, this is a big match. You've already been here. You already know what to expect. Now go out there and just show me something. And of course, you have a leader right next to James Maddison. Like you, when I saw this, I was like, holy shit. Awesome.
Yeah.
Can I ask who's got the TV on in the background?
Oh, that'd be my little boy. I do apologise.
No, that's okay. That's no problem. No problem whatsoever. I was just wondering where it was coming from. Am I going mad?
No, that's.
Yeah, hang on. Yeah, hang on. I tell you what, I've got a little bit of breaking news for you guys.
Ooh.
Okay, but I want to welcome a few people in. I want to say big up to Audio Austin. Afternoon, chaps. Always big up Audio. Hope you're doing well. The Godfather himself, Mr. Philip Brady. May we bow to the Godfather. I know there's a few horses' heads coming my way. Do you know what? He sent me more horses' heads since I've known him. I've got a cupboard full of them. No more, Philip. I can't fit them in anywhere. Yeah. He says that team has Thursday written all over it. Yeah, it does. Big up to Mr. Wayne Bonner. 25 months or 26 months of giving support to this channel. Wayne, I want to thank you, man. I know we did it last night, but yesterday lunchtime you come over, but thank you so much. It means a hell of a lot. You were there at the start and you're still here with me now. So Wayne, thank you so much, man. He says, I like giving Gray a run out, but that midfield is weak. They have eaten for fun for Liverpool. If your young lad wants to watch his TV, let him, it's fine. I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to be sorry. United, I don't get you in trouble, James. I really don't. United went strong today, present to losing 10 men Bournemouth. Yeah. Now, I got a bit of breaking news. Now, I want to can I find the breaking news button? Have I still got it? Have I still got the breaking news button?
You do. It's there.
I need to redo this. Just mind your ears, everyone. It is going to belt you. But here it is. And the breaking news is Tottenham would let James Maddison leave in the summer if a bid of 50 million is met. Now, what do you think to that, guys? Good move? Was it predictable? I think it was. Look, my view on this very quickly is, how many times have we criticized James Maddison this season for being inconsistent? And we've all said we all want Kulu playing in at number 10. I know I said on Dave's channel, I think Brendan Johnson can play in that 10 role, which left a lot of fans sort of thinking this man knows nothing. But for me, it just hasn't worked. Thank you for your services. Get 50 million for him and goodbye. Steve, very quickly, what do you think on that bit of breaking news?
Yeah, and Derma, you know that I've been saying this for a couple of months now, that if Spurs get the right offer for James Maddison, they should consider letting him leave in the summer. Like, I understand the talent. I understand the talent that he possesses, but the problem is, and this is not a Tottenham issue, this goes back to his Leicester City days. This goes back to his Coventry days, that he is not consistent. He'll have little purple patches where he might string together 3 or 4 games in a row where he has a goal contribution, but then he disappears for an entire month at crucial times in the season when you actually need a leader. But the other thing, he's a part of the leadership committee, in a leadership committee that's absolutely weak, that doesn't lead. And I will say that because of personal issues that he has with Ange Postecoglou, you see him pout all the time. I question whether or not he's actually committed to this project, and I think that maybe it would be better served if he leaves the club. I don't necessarily want to go so far as to call him a cancer, but that being said, he has cancer tendencies. And of course, when you have a young team full of the Lucas Berg Balls and the Archie Grays, you need an absolute stud there, an absolute leader who is going to take these kids under the wings, not only to teach them how to be a professional, but also lead them in matches like today at Liverpool. And there are just better number 10s out there that you can bring in to facilitate that role. We have Dejan Kulusevski, who also can fill that 10 role, who not only plays for the badge, but he gives you a hard 90 every single time out.
It does.
So me personally, I think it would be better served for James Maddison in his career to not be wearing the cockle. That's just how I feel.
I agree with that, actually, Steve. He's captain today. He doesn't motivate me. Firstly, to Wayne Bonner's question, what is he watching? If it ain't the X-Files or the Moppets, it ain't worth watching. So we want to know.
Well, he's a bit young for... He's a bit young. Fraggle Rock was ace. He's a bit young for the X-Files. He's currently watching... What are you watching, mate? He's watching YouTube. He's watching some video on YouTube.
Is he watching us? That's what he should be watching. He should be watching.
He should be watching his dad.
Yeah, he should be watching.
Imagine that would be kind of weird.
Is he a Spurs fan though?
He says he's a Spurs fan, but his mum's best friend is a Liverpool fan, so he kind of crosses between both. I'm working on getting the Liverpool out of him. And being a fully fledged Spurs fan, but he's got to make his own decision at the end of the day. I can't force him to follow us.
You can. You just show him Tottenham winning trophies. You just show him, and just when he wants to go to sleep, gently playing Glory, Glory Tottenham Hotspur as a sort of lullaby to put him say, "Hello."
Oh, there he is.
Are you going to become a Spurs fan?
Are you going to become a Spurs fan?
I don't know.
He doesn't know.
Tell him to watch Dermatron. He will do. Tell him he's live on YouTube. He's live to millions of people.
Live there now. You're live at the minute.
Cool.
What's his name?
Eli.
What?
Eli. What's the score going to be today?
What's the score going to be today?
I don't know.
Tottenham versus Liverpool. What's the score going to be?
3-1. 3-1.
3-1. Who's going to score 3? Tottenham. And who's going to score 1? Liverpool. He's going 3-1 Liverpool. He's going 3-1 Spurs.
There's the lad. Colin is saying, bless him, spray him with holy water. James, we can't have a Liverpool fan in the family.
Or you can do what my grandfather did, right? Which is he made me go pick a switch out in the yard, and then he proceeded to beat the bad behavior out of me. So There's,
Do
there's
you know what?
multiple
That's why I
avenues in
love
which
this
you
channel.
can get the Liverpool out.
Yeah, that's why I love this channel. We just had that moment, which I think it's a really sweet moment. Actually, it really is that's why I love doing this channel for that alone. What's your thought on Madison leaving? Look, we are going to get into the lineups, and James, I know you're very tactical now, so I want to get your tactical. And you as well, Steve, both tactical. I want to get your tactical view on Liverpool, Steve. I'm putting you under pressure here. You on Tottenham, if that's all right, Steve. I'll mix it around next week. Don't worry for the
Yeah, it's all good.
You
It's all
get
good.
Tottenham and you. And also I've got little stats for your head-to-heads and little nuggets before we get going. But what's your thoughts on Madison? Would you let him go?
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
I 100% agree with what Steve says. That he yes, when he turns up and he's on his own song, there's nobody better. But there's too many times, too many games where he doesn't show up, he doesn't turn up, he doesn't play, and he seems to bring the players around him down, and it's then a negative impact on the team. I'm hoping that he has one of his good games today. Show him. I love that one, Wayne. Yeah, show him.
Yeah.
Showing videos of Hoddle and Gaza.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I think, look, if we're getting 50 million, which is the exact same money that we spent on him, we should be snapping whoever's coming in with that kind of money his hands off, personally. I think it'd be a good bit of business, and we could definitely get an upgrade on that, or just pull Decky into that side. Into the middle and allow a right winger to operate as a right winger rather than having Decky playing out wide and then cutting in all the time.
I agree. Well, listen, this is the head-to-head between Liverpool and Tottenham. Liverpool are unbeaten in their last 15 home games against Tottenham in all competitions. 1-11 drawn 4, winning the last 3 while scoring 4 goals each time. Tottenham have won just 2 of the last 24 Premier League meetings against Liverpool, drawn 6, lost 16, with both victories coming at home. And Spurs have failed to keep a clean sheet in any of the last 18 top-flight encounters. Liverpool stats: Luis Diaz is set to play his 100th Premier League game for Liverpool, becoming only the 60th player to reach the milestone for the club. Mohamed Salah has scored 15 goals against Tottenham in all competitions, only meeting one more against Manchester United, 16. Liverpool have matched their Premier League tally of 24 wins from last season with 5 matches still to go. And victory against Spurs would see them equal their total points tally of 92 from 23-24. Tottenham stats. Tottenham have lost, to just get better, these stats, they really do. Tottenham have lost 18 Premier League games in 24-25 under Ange Postecoglou. Only Ozzy Ardiles, God bless the King Ozzy, has lost more games for Spurs manager across a single season. The competition suffering 19 defeats, 93-94. I think we're going to beat that this season. Richarlison has scored 4 goals in his last 5 Premier League appearances, although Spurs have lost all 4 of those matches. Only Mateus Tuna, 5, has scored in more defeats than Richarlison this term. And the last one here, Spurs have conceded 10 goals against Liverpool this season, losing 6-3 in the Premier League, 4-0 in the League Cup semi-final second leg. Their last conceded more against an opponent 2013-2014 when they shipped 11 versus Man City, whilst the most goals they have let in against one team in the same season is 14 versus Chelsea in the 01-02 season. So that's all your stats, head-to-head Liverpool stats and Tottenham stats. I don't know why I read out the Tottenham stats. They're just so bloody depressing. But Steve, this is for you, man. This is you. This is go on, we're gonna play for.
I was gonna say, you really know how to suck the energy out of the room, don't you, Jeremy Trot? Stats. Good lord, dude. Now all of a sudden, I'm depressed.
I put them stats together last night, right? And I was playing. I was listening to Nova, which is a rock radio station over here in the background. It's a really good radio station. I would recommend you guys, if you've got a radio station that lets you listen to stations around the world, pick Nova. Nova's very good. And I was thinking that, and there was headbanging to a song. I think they had Guns N' Roses or Bowie, some Bowie song, and I was there just putting away. I looked at them stats and I went, why am I bothering? Just, but Steve, This is you, man. This is your time to shine. This is where we put your tactics genius to stand. This is the Liverpool lineup. Do you want to go through it? And how do you think Liverpool will set up today against Tottenham Hotspur?
Yeah. So starting with their back five, obviously their goalkeeper Allison, who's an absolute stud in net, gets run out there, and arguably this is one of their biggest matches. They get to clinch the Premier League on their home field, and they're playing an 11 that I expected them to play. You're going to have Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold as the fullbacks. You're going to have Konate and Van Dijk as their center back pairing. You're going to get Slobosai at the 10 with Gravenbach and McAllister playing in a double pivot, at least to start the lineup. You're going to have Luis Diaz up top with Salah and Gakpo manning the wings. But the interesting thing about this is when they attack, it almost feels like Arne Slot and Enzo Maresca kind of play in the same manner. Whereas they're attacking up the field, depending on which side of the field they're playing down, they're going to have one of their wingbacks bomb down the field, whether it's Robertson or Trent Alexander-Arnold. They do like to attack off the right with that combination of Alexander-Arnold and Mo Salah, with the other left back inverting into the middle of the field, creating that double pivot ahead of the two center backs. So essentially, what they'll end up doing is you're going to see McAllister float a little bit higher with Slobosai as they run, somewhat of two high tens as they're attacking with both wingers, Cody Gakpo and Salah, if they want to switch. And it's essentially looks like it almost feels like it's a 2-4-2-2 moving up the field. But on defense, as they're moving numbers back, they almost look like a 4-4-2 with two lines of four collapsing in the mid. And essentially pushing everything out to the wings, where you're going to have a combination of whichever winger, along with Trent Alexander-Arnold manning the wing. So they're incredibly tough moving back on the ball. They are very resolute. They're very compact defensively. They don't allow anything really to move through the center of the pitch. They generally like teams. They essentially dictate how teams are going to attack them because they collapse in the mid. So, passing lanes, trying to find those passing lanes in the middle of the field probably won't be there. But what makes Liverpool so good is their ability to press. And they do it in such a resolute way with essentially two red shirts on the ball at any point when a pass gets made. They generally win the ball back, and then they absolutely break. And so this is going to be pivotal for Ben Davis and Kevin Danso to be tactically alert, because they will play balls over the top if you're not careful, right? So this is going to be such an absolute monster test today for Destiny Udogie on the left and Jed Spence on the right. They're going to have to be tactically aware because Liverpool will test them. But the one thing that I also will say is, when Liverpool does build and they get numbers forward and they slow down the attack, and when they're playing that ball back to their center backs, both Van Dijk and Konate will put balls into the box. They have no problem testing back lines, and because they're such good passers and because they can break lines, it almost has the effect of attacking with Slobosai or McAllister running into the box, because it stretches lines. They're just so unbelievably good on the counterattack and in the build-up. There's a reason why this team essentially has ran away with the Premier League, because they're so consistent in everything they do. When I look at how Tottenham sets up, they're going to have to be brave. They're going to have to take chances, and they're going to have to actually get back to something that resembles Ange ball in order to test this Liverpool defense, because again, they just stay so compact in what they do. You're on mute, bud.
This thing, brilliant, by the way, tactical build up to Liverpool side. Absolutely, really enjoyed listening to that.
Yes.
Who would you put as the most danger men today? I mean, Salah is one, but is there another player there that you think we need to look out for today, apart from Salah?
Yeah, Cody Gakpo, because the
Yeah.
last time these two teams met, Cody Gakpo seemed to be left alone at the back post. And so when when Tottenham was so concerned about Mo Salah touching the ball, they seemed to lose sight of Cody Gakpo, who all of a sudden would just appear at the back post and he was just there for tap-ins. So for me, Cody Gakpo is probably going to be that X factor. We know that what Trent Alexander-Arnold can do in the attack because he's also a very good very good marker with the ball. His crosses in are pretty dangerous, but also pay attention to Dominic Slobosai because if you guys remember in that second leg at Anfield, that dude was absolutely gutting this Tottenham defense. 1v1. Dominic Slobosai is an absolute monster, but also Louis Diaz can wreak havoc as well too. But defensively, it's going to be will we have anybody that will test Virgil van Dijk? That's the question.
That is the question. But no, brilliant, Steve. Really enjoyed that. Big up, man. And I promise you get Tottenham on Thursday. Well, the next time we do watch it, you get to do Spurs first. I am sorry you had to do that. I do apologize.
No, it's fun. No, it's fun, right? Because there's a reason why Liverpool is where they are. Yeah. And what's so funny is like you look at the name Mo Salah and you see Virgil van Dijk and you see the stars, but what this team is such filled with guys that absolutely understand the system and play it to a T, and that's why everyone on this starting 11 looks dangerous.
Yeah, look great. That's brilliant, Stephen. Look, as I said, the next watch along you will get Spurs first, and James will have to do the away side. So, thank you for doing that, Stephen. And this is what this show is all about. It's all about tactics. It's all about talking about the lineups and talking about what we think is happening for the game. James, very quickly go to you, Steve. Just out of 10, how much would you give this Tottenham line out of 10 for Ange? And is it just a very quick answer to it? It's Thursday in mind.
I give it a good solid 7. I like the fact that Ange Postecoglou finally decided to play Bergvall and Gray together in the midfield. It's something that I've been waiting since the two were announced as signings. That's the thing. It's like if these guys are our future, then our future actually has to get ran out and play together. I like that James Maddison is a part of this midfield three. For all the shit we just talked about James Maddison, if he's a leader, he's going to have to be responsible for making sure Bergvall and Gray understand their assignments. But also, let's be perfectly honest, Bergvall and Gray are actually excellent passers, and if they actually utilize space correctly, Dominic Solanke might be able to get on the end of a few of these. So I 100% believe in Bergvall and Gray.
Yeah, big up. James, Tottenham lineup. Yes. We're starting with the Vicario in goal. We've got the Jedi Spence. I haven't come up with a nickname for Danso yet, so maybe we can come up with
Tiny Danso.
Tiny Danso, that was it. I forgot that. We've got the Welsh Dragon in Ben Davies. We've got the Italian Stallion in the Doggy. We've got the Swedish Messi in Bergville. We've got the English Bulldog in Archie Gray. We've got Dartsman Madison. We've got the Welsh Wizard in Brennan Johnson. We've got Dom Solanke. And then we've got William Tell on the other star. We will bring you the bench as well. The bench to it, guys, is, if I can find it very quickly, the bench is Kingsley, Pedro Porro, Romero, Van der Ven, Basuma. Why is he on the bench? Sarr, Kulu, and Odegaard and Richarlison, and that is Basuma's nickname. Why is he in the team, or why is he on the bench? You're Ange Postecoglou, James. You're sitting down last night sorting out this game. Yes, this is the 11 you've gone with. What's his tactical plan against, as Steve says, an exceptionally great Liverpool side?
So if I'm Ange Postecoglou and I'm talking to this team, and I've gone in the dressing room before kickoff, I'm telling Spence and Doggy, I need them to be proactive. I need them to be using the space, getting forward, but I'm also needing them not to push too much and leave Tiny Danso and Ben vulnerable. They're going to need to be able to track back and move forward. So I need them mobile. I need them active. I need Ben and Danso to try and stay as strong as they can. You need to be holding your positions. Don't give them an inch. Stay tight to your man and work together and try and understand where you're going to need to be. The midfield three. Now, like me and Steve were saying earlier, I love this midfield three, actually. I mean, yes, we've just been dissing James Maddison, but I do think it is a good three. It is a three in the middle that I've been waiting for weeks, if not months, because I think I think that is probably going to be, well, at least two out of the three are going to be our midfield that's going to take us forward. Brennan Johnson, James Maddison really needs to turn up, and I'd be telling him, you're my captain, I'm giving you the armband, you need to lead this team today. You need to be dictating, you need to be showing why we brought you, and you need the best game of the season out of you today. Johnson, again, I think he needs to show up this game. He needs to be active. He needs to be running. He needs to be on the front foot. He needs to get his head out of his feet and look for the passes, look for the movement on the opposite side, and do what he's been doing well this season, arriving at back post and getting forward. But he's also got to pick up some defensive duties, because you can't expect Jed and Udogie to be doing it. And that's the same for Matisse Tell as well. I think he's getting a few games now, Matisse Tell, and yes, against Nottingham Forest, he didn't score, but he looked threatening, he looked positive, he wanted to try and influence the game out there, and I think that's what we need from him today. Give these wide men the ball and get them moving forward, and hopefully with Maddison behind supporting, we'll be able to get that ball to Big Dom, and just what I want from Dom is I want him staying further forward. I don't want him dropping deep. He's not mobile enough to be coming deep and surging forward. He needs to be basically sat on their last man, literally all the game. Don't come back unless we're defending and we really are needing him back to help defend. Sit on that Liverpool last man. Get on them. Make them keep a man back, because you are staying forward, Dom. Don't sit back. Don't come back. We need an out. And if you're our out, then we've got that ability to be able to get the ball up to Dom, and then Tell and Johnson surging up the wings. He enables that ball to then open the play up, spread that play, get out wide, use the width, and then Dom can get forward, and either with Tell or Johnson whipping a ball in, either Johnson arriving or Tell arriving with Dom in the middle. And I think it'll give us that ability to stretch Liverpool a little bit. Liverpool are going to be a tough nut to crack. This is not going to be an easy game for us at all. At Anfield, Premier League's on, obviously, one hand on the trophy for Liverpool, and we need to be the party poopers today. That's what we need to do, and that would be my underlying comments to the team. We need to ruin the Liverpool party today. They're going to be in party mode. Let's show up. Let's ruin this party for them.
Quick question for the both of you. Do you guys think today is make or break for Brennan Johnson? Because we know what he can do against Southampton and the Ipswiches of the world. And relegation fodder, he seems to bring his best performances against weaker defenses. But one thing that he has not shown yet is the ability to actually put those numbers up against a quality defense like Liverpool. When we've seen Brennan Johnson at our best is when balls are getting played through where he can actually run onto the ball and put service into the box. We saw that a few times against Southampton. I think we even saw it a couple times versus Wolves as well too, where a ball was shot inside up the right side. He gets onto it and he actually put a nice ball in the box. It's actually the cross that Tell scored against Wolves. It seems like when that happens, he's a little bit better of a player. 1v1, not so much. But I would think that if the underlying narrative is that some of these guys are interviewing for next season, like this actually has a potential to be a big make or break moment for Brendan Johnson moving forward.
I agree.
So go on, James. You go first. Go on, man.
I would say, yeah, I agree. I think Johnson is going to basically be playing. Is he a starting 11 next season, or is he a sub man next season? I think that's where I am on this. Is he going to be a key player for us next year, or is he just going to be impact sub? That's my opinion on Johnson.
Yeah. Look, for me, Brennan Johnson last year at Liverpool went hiding. And any big game we've had, he's hid. So he needs to show more commitment and more, I think, courage that he can do it against the big clubs, that he can play against them. You are right, Steve, when you say he is a relegation type player. I get that, and I get the point you get. But look, I am his big fan. I do believe in Brennan Johnson will come good. I just believe players develop at different times in their career, and Brendan Johnson will come there, will get there one day. But you are right to say against the likes of relegation sides, he's always there. Against the sides of Man City or Man United or Liverpool, he hides. Arsenal, he hides, and he's got to stop doing that. I think it's a confident thing. I think he's not confident in his ability against these sides where he has the talent. So he should, and you should be saying to him, look, I believe in you. Maybe he's one of these players that need his arm around his shoulder, that I believe in you. I know you can do, and send him out there full of confidence. And then maybe he may say, do you know what? I don't need to hide against these teams. I don't need to hide. Maybe I can go out and prove I'm the best player in the world. So that's my view of it. We've got another bit of breaking news as well, guys, on Eze of Crystal Palace. Steve, I want to get your thoughts on this straight off. Two clubs are pulling away at the moment for Eze signing a Eze going across the bottom of the screen, guys. Current favours are Demlock down the road to sign the talented player, but Tottenham are hot on the heels of Tottenham Hotspur. Steve Eze, saw his goal yesterday. When I saw him score that goal, I turned around to Mrs. Tron and said, I want him at Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah.
I want that player at Spurs. Is this a player we need to really go out and get? Is he a replacement for James Maddison?
Oh, without a doubt. And if there was a player that was tailor-made for Tottenham Hotspur, it's Eberici Eze. Just in his technical ability, he fits the player profile of what Ange Postecoglou likes as a 10, but he's also a scorer as well too. He knows how to create his own space to be dangerous, and he actually works well with his striking partner as well too. He has that ability to understand the movement of his strikers and his wingers, and he always seems to put his teammates in good positions to either send in good crosses or put the ball in the net. Now, here's the thing, right? If it's down between Arsenal and Tottenham Hotspur, obviously Arsenal is going to be playing in the Champions League next year, and that is also something that some players yearn for. But that being said, there's going to be a crowded midfield for Eze at Arsenal because he's going to be one of many great players at Arsenal. At Tottenham Hotspur, he's walking straight into the starting 11. There's not going to be any necessarily competition yet for Eberici Eze, so he will come in wearing the number 10, being the number 10, and he also has potential captaincy material as well too. He's that good of a player, and if it's money, then shut up and pay him. Period.
Yeah.
Pay him.
Or do this. Do what Wayne's saying, Dave.
Yeah. It's I mean, if that's the thing. It's like first and foremost, you have to wonder if Crystal Palace even wants James Maddison. That's the first place. But if money's an issue, then pay it. That's it.
Exactly.
Be aggressive and show your ambition. And and with the right director of football, not only are you selling this project, but you're also selling Tottenham Hotspur is the right place for Eberici Eze. 100%.
And that's when we need a Paratici to come in to actually get these transfers over the line. And where I think Lang and Mon, who are leaving at the end of the season, which we did break a couple of weeks ago, by the way, me and James did break that. Do you know, we're so good, guys. We're so good at breaking news. We are Sky Sports of YouTube. I mean, Steve's great at breaking the American side of the Spurs network. We're just so good. I'm just blowing this up here. Look, I agree with everything Steve says, actually. There's nothing really I wouldn't agree with. I actually do agree with it. But this from Wayne Bonner James, give cash plus Maddison for Eze. But is James right? Is Steve right? Just pay the money. And then also, is Steve also right? If you've got a proper director of football, like a Paratici, he will be able to sell Tottenham to Eze. Do you know? And again, Steve's spot on. He walks into the first team. So, you know, Is Eze a player you would like at Spurs?
Oh God, yeah. I wanted him last year when we were tipped with him before we signed Maddison. I think he is. The thing is regardless of whether or not Ange's here next season, he's perfectly built for the Ange Postecoglou system, but he's also perfectly built for the Spurs system. And I think for someone like him who sits behind but can also drive forward and arrive late in the box and still, I mean, what's he got this season? 10, 11 goals this season with at least 15, 16 assists, I think it is. I'm not 100% sure on his actual stats. I haven't followed him that closely this season because I was too let's have a look here. So 4 goals, 8 assists this season, sorry. So, but is there or thereabouts. He might not score and he might not assist, but he plays with his heart on his sleeve. It's 100% all the time. And I think that is the quality of player that we need. And somebody who's going to show up week in, week out, week in, week out. Look, if Crystal Palace wants 75, 80 million for him, we need to be paying 75, 80 million for him. If they want 100 million, that shows intent. That shows that we are committed to improving that team.
But this is just quickly, and you talk about consistency, and you look at his player ratings over the course of the last couple of weeks. Against Fulham, 8.7. Against Southampton, 7.2. Against Brighton, 8.5. Against City, 7.5. Against Arsenal, 8.1. Villa, 8.3. What that shows me is that dude is consistent. He shows up week in, week out. And yes, there are going to be times where defenses, try to lock in on him. But that being said, you don't have to worry about, what's happening with James Maddison, where he picks and chooses when he wants to show up. Eberici Eze, just like Dejan Kulusevski, plays hard and shows up every single week. And that's exactly what we need at Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah,
just
100%.
A quick question. Just on today's FA Cup semi-final from yesterday and the semi-final today, did Eze, for you, put himself in the shop window yesterday for how he performed? And the Palace manager, did he put himself in the frame to become our new manager? And I go with Steve to the top one, then you, James, just on today's game. If you want time to think about that, Steve, I can quickly go to James if you want time to get your answer. But just very quickly, James, on today's semi-final, who do you think is going to win? Because Nuno, ex-Spurs manager, if he gets to an FA Cup final, it will be another manager that's managed Spurs that's gone on somewhere else to be successful. How much would that hurt today, see Nuno getting Forest to a final?
Oh, it would be a big hurt. It would be a big hurt seeing Nuno get to final. Look, I mean, Nottingham Forest are more than capable of beating Manchester City on the day. But Manchester City can sometimes take it to another level. I think it's going to be a close game, to be fair, and it could go either way. But if you ask me to put my money where my mouth is, I would probably going to say that Man City will nick it 2-1. But I think, I mean, Nuno's done absolutely phenomenal at Forest. You can take nothing away from him. Take nothing away from him. He's done really, really well. And it was. I think it was a knee-jerk reaction when Spurs got rid of him, and I think it was because of the ability to be able to bring in another manager that was a bigger named manager. We'll say not a different manager, because we could have brought in any manager at the time, but it was a bigger name, and I think that's the reason as well why
I think
Nuno was let go.
Yeah, I think in the summer we will have a discussion over Levy's appointments. I think there's a good show there over the last 5 or 6 appointments, and really try to work out why did he make these appointments. Now, I'm going to bugger off because I've got to watch on the getaway. So, Steve, I'm leaving you take it over from me. Just on the question, I'll leave you with this, you two boys to discuss. Eze yesterday, did he put himself in the shop window? Secondly, is there any other Palace players you would take at Tottenham? And thirdly, the manager. Do you think he'd be a good fit at Spurs? Do good over. We're on at 4:25 for the watch along. I'm sure the guys will tell you to bump or over. Wayne, I'm always humble. I'm never ever nothing but humble. Yeah. Right.
So
on that
yeah, and of
bombshell,
course, yep.
see you later. See you over there, guys.
Yep, we have about like a good 8 minutes until we have to move over to the watch along. But I will just say this: that in a massive semifinal with Crystal Palace that doesn't win a lot of trophies to begin with, Eberici Eze scores a massive goal to help us secure a 3-0 victory and move themselves 90 minutes away from an FA Cup, which would be huge for Crystal Palace. But to to answer your question, if Ange Postecoglou wins the Europa League, you have to bring him back in the name of continuity and stability. You can't keep chopping and changing the manager. And I said this on the Irish Hotspurs this morning, where, listen, every single time that you change a manager or you change a director of football operations, you change the identity of the club. It happens, right? Because new people come in, they have a vision of what in the way the football club should be ran, should be the style of football they should be playing. And every single time that happens, new players have to come in, and any stability or continuity you built to that point gets thrown out the window. And I don't think Spurs can afford to do that again. So if Ange Postecoglou delivers their first European trophy since 1984, he has to return for his third season. Yes, you can bring in Paratici to help bring in better players. But as far as the fit for Oliver Glasner, the question to you is Daniel Levy going to have heart eyes over Oliver Glasner if he wins the FA Cup? I would probably think yes, he probably would. Right? I mean, you remember the love affair he had with Jose Mourinho. I would probably assume, coming off the heels of an FA Cup win for Crystal Palace, a club that just does not win a lot of trophies, that he would probably be infatuated with Oliver Glasner. And that would just be that's just my take on it. I think Daniel Levy just falls in love with the flavor of the moment.
Yeah, I agree, Steve. I think if Crystal Palace go on to win the FA Cup, then there is no shadow in my mind that Daniel Levy will be making moo eyes at him and trying to figure out how we can lure him to the club. I completely agree with what you're saying about the continuity. And Ange Postecoglou, in an interview with Sky Sports today, I think it was himself, said that he's all about the continuity. He wants continuity for Tottenham. He wants to be able to take Tottenham to that next level. And we've talked numerous times about the injuries and what our season has fallen up. And I'm not using that as an excuse. However, look, no team anywhere in the world could have gone through what we went through and survived, and still been up there at the top. Look, it's been a bad season. Yes, it has been a bad season. Has there been positives in the season? That is the question. Has there been enough positives in this season to warrant Ange Postecoglou staying for another year? And I agree with you. I think there is. I think our Europa League run, although, again, some games where we've not shown up, Galatasaray and Roma, we've not shown up fully, but there is enough for me to see progression. That has been progression. But when you have the entire heart of your team ripped out, and you've got 12 of your first team squad members out. 12. I think it was at one point. I think it actually went up to as high as 14. I think at one point, we were 14, 13 first team squad members out, injured or suspended or whatever it was. You're going to suffer. But I still think there was flashes and there was times where you could see that team working for themselves. I think the team still want to work for Ange Postecoglou. The game against Frankfurt showed that for me. So,
You know what? You're absolutely right when you consider the spine of the team, right? Which is the most important critical part of any football team. Your striker, your 2 10s, your 2 center backs, and your goalkeeper were out for long periods of times at one point, and you're not going to be able to find consistency or any results for that matter to come easy. But that being said, you look at the player development. Destiny Udoji's got better. Jed Spence has got better. Bergvall is continued to gets better week after week. Archie Gray has developed better. You look at Matisse Tell and his evolution over the course since he came in. He seems to have gotten comfortable at that left side, and he has gotten better. Wilson Odebear, since he's been back, has gotten better. So you're looking at some of these young kids, and if that's the direction we're going, there is proven concept that these guys are getting better on a week-to-week basis. And to me, that's like, that pretty much sums it up. It's like, yes, I want to see results, but that being said, in the context of what this project is, you can actually see positives.
Absolutely, 100% agree with you there. I mean, Odebear, I feel so sorry for Odebear. He came to the club, he made the natural progressive step up from playing at Burnley to coming up to us, and he looked good when in the first few games that he played, and then he was just so unfortunate to get the injuries that he's had. And then he comes back and then he picks up another knock. I agree with you. I know Dermo is not a big Matisse Tell fan. I am a big Matisse Tell fan. I can see the positive.
I'm hot and cold with Matisse Tell. I can see the raw talent, and I can see the ceiling. The biggest problem is that Ange Postecoglou's attack is reliant on 19-year-old kids in order to carry the load, and they just don't have that ability right now. I guess that's the call for more experienced wingers where they can develop without the pressure. But hey, James, we are about a minute away from ending the pre-match. Is there anything that you want to say before we head over to the watch along?
Well, enjoy the watch along. I'm not joining you on the watch along. I'll be jumping in at half time. I think it's going to be a cracking game, and what I want to see is every one of our fans, every one of our supporters get behind the team. Let's get some togetherness together again. That's what I want to see, togetherness.
I just want to see this team match Liverpool's intensity in the first 20 minutes. You know what I mean? That will be
not concede an early goal.
That's exactly that. That will tell us everything. That will tell us everything about this match. But James, I want to thank you for sticking along for the pre-match. We'll see you at halftime. We'll see you on the post-game wrap. Take care, little man. I hope you have a good Sunday as well too. Have a you guys be good, and we'll see you on the watch along. You guys have a great Sunday. Come on, you Spurs!
Come on, you Spurs!
Eyes on the prize.